don't internalize stress or anxiety or fear. Create a pattern interrupt in a way to breathe or meditate, to release it regularly and let it go. Because if you store it and you pend it up, it can actually result in psychosomatic symptoms and physical disease and illness. I wanted to make a video like this for a while, and I have to get inspired to make videos like this. And basically, so we all have a lot of stresses in our lives, including like crazy fears that come about, and we're trying to be successful and live our lives and chase our dreams and take care of our families. But what can happen is you can spend 3 months being terrified that you are getting sick or about to get sick, or that there's some stress in your family going on. Like, it's one thing after another. And I think that even if there is something wrong, not internalizing it and storing it in your body and letting go and being in presence and finding a way to let it flow down the river is very, very important. Because when you store stress, it can actually make you sick. And does this make sense? There's an amazing book called The Placebo Effect by Dr. Joe Dispenza on audible.com. It's amazing. This dude had totally healed himself. He was riding a bike in a race, like New York, like hundreds of bikes. I don't know what that's called, a cyclothon or something. And he went out in an intersection. Somebody shouldn't have been driving and hit him, and he ended up in a hospital bed. And he completely regenerated. They said he would never walk again. He regenerated his nervous system through tapping into consciousness. So I put a link in the description below to audible.com. If you don't have Audible, you got to get it. This amazing books by Dr. Joe Dispenza. They're like the answer to so many things. How we have this power in our consciousness of healing, tapping into our spirit and becoming one with it. Where 99% of people don't even use this technology or tap into this. We rely too much on the medical system and on pharmaceuticals and medications and all this stuff. And not that the medical system hasn't done amazing things, but I'm saying, and that there's a whole nother technology, a spiritual technology that has been with us this whole time. It's like being hidden from us. So very important. I 100% wholeheartedly believe that you can actually cure yourself from anything. And by eating healthy, getting proper sleep, and being happy and letting it go. There's meditations like Jennifer McLean. She's a little out there, but she's awesome. McLean, I think it is. She has this meditation that I was really sick in 2017. I was like sick in the head. I was in a deep depression, and I thought I was developing an illness where I would pass away. I went through this. It was really tough. And I laid down, I did this meditation. It was like she went through every single organ in the body, the lymph nodes, the skin, the tongue, the eyes, the heart, the liver, the kidneys, the pancreas, the spleen, and you bless and do a meditation of each individual. Like, say you go to your liver and you tell your liver how much you love it, and you bathe it in unconditional love, and you say, I'm sorry and I love you and I forgive you. Please forgive me for putting you through stress, and I bathe you in unconditional love. And you go through, intentionally focus and go through every organ in the body for like an hour. And at the end, I'm going to tell you, it was like incredible what it did for me. And you got to believe it. But think about stuff like that. Think about that. It's like some of the really successful people that I know, they don't worry about, at least I'm not aware of, all the crazy stuff that some of us worry about that's holding us back. So you can say to somebody, hey, how come you haven't achieved this level of success yet? Oh, because last year you spent 6 months sick in bed every day after work in depression because you had horrible family issues going on and you weren't emotionally strong enough to deal with it, or you've been guilt-ridden from something going back to your childhood, or maybe you have a parent who is narcissistic and codependent, and you're a full-blown adult, yet this thing is holding you back. Like, we have these things that hold us back, and that's all part of the evolution. But I'll tell you one thing, we're not getting any younger. So developing these really strong, healthy boundaries that you're learning how to take care of yourself, put the oxygen mask on your own face first, is so important. And you know, there's one thing I'm really, and I want to make a whole nother video about this, starting to get wise on: enabling people. It's so hard to watch somebody you love. Alexa, turn the Zen light on. It's so hard to watch. Isn't that dope? We just got this couch down here, put a TV on the wall so I can study and stuff. Anyways, it's so hard to watch somebody you love struggle, and they have caused all of their own struggling, and they refuse to fix it, yet they want to take that monkey or those monkeys off their back and put it on your back and make you feel guilty and be responsible for what they're going through, yet you're trying to live your own life. And it's so hard to be in a rowboat and watch them drown to death when they have life preservers and boats all around them, and they refuse to climb up or build their own boat, and they want to suck off of you and climb inside of your boat and sink you and cling to you and suck off of you, because they don't even want to face just minimal responsibility to be responsible for their own shit. And these people that you love and that love you, and it's so tough to look at them and tell them no. You know what I mean? But you get to a point where you're like, no, I can't. I love you, but I can't. I can't. So this is another thing that plays into internalizing emotions. And the pain of regret is tough. I guarantee you there's millions and millions of people that get to the point where they're getting too old. And I believe you're never too old, right? Well, you can get too old. You get to the point where you're too old to go out and chase all the things that you wanted to do in your life, and then you look back and regret, and now you're angry at yourself for letting other people hold you back. You're angry at yourself for sitting around tired and depressed and not living your life to the fullest. What is living your life to the fullest? Well, I thought about this. I'm going to go for it. So what do? You go for it 100%, whatever that thing is, and then you start evading or avoiding your own family, and now it causes a bunch of pain there. It's very complex, and it's really about being that person that has that compass. This is one reason why I've been going to church, dude. I'm not trying to push this on you, but dude, having that compass in the center, that thing that you can point to, that it's a feeling, it's a guidance that knows that this is true north. And Jesus, excuse me. So you can tell somebody, no, absolutely not. And you know for a fact you're not being like neglectful or abusive. You know, in order to conserve your own energy and not enable them as well, and so they can trip on their own, and learn for themselves. How do you get to that point where you're such a self-actualized person that you can be very strong, but also very loving at the same time?